program. Already.
Wow.
2012, and according to the Mayan calendar, this could be the last January that we see.
Oh, whatever.
You know, the world is full of these kinds of predictions. In an hour or two, we're going to chat a little bit about that role, the role that religion plays. Some of you may have listened to our conversation for the last 2 weeks with the Minnesota Atheists and the Minnesota Humanists.
Great shows, by the way.
Fantastic. Yeah, so good of them to offer up that idea. And had a great time. And it's sort of spurred on a whole conversation around this radio program and others of people saying, like, yeah, there are competing views in the world about how we should organize and think about the world that we live in. And I don't think that those are the kinds of competitions in which there's a winner or a loser. I think rather they're the kinds of competitions like, should I eat the bread first, or should I have should I dive right into the meal? Mm-hmm. You know, like they're not in competition, but you have to make a choice sometimes. Sure. But they're not winners and losers. Not that kind of competition.
It was a bizarre metaphor, I got to say.
Really?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you feel like if you eat the bread before the meal, you just say, I'm going to get all filled up on bread. You know, at those restaurants where they bring you out the bread ahead of time. But you want to have a little, but you're just thinking, I got to pace the order.
Yeah.
I have to decide how much of this I'm going to have before I have a little bit of that. So there's a little competition there. That wasn't really working for you, huh? Yeah. I think it's the sunglasses.
Is it?
Yeah, we're having fun around here today, and it's bright and sunny in Minnesota. On the 8th of January.
March.
Incredible. So I'm wearing sunglasses and a spring-like shirt.
Oh, you are. You do.
Yeah. I feel very spring-like.
Easter pastel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, pray tell. Thank you. Hey, some of you know there's a little website called Facebook. It's got a couple of people that use it every week, every day. There's a lot of excitement around this. Some of the kids from out at Harvard put this little website together. And Social Phonics is a company that I own, and we do Facebook training, and in fact, training for organizations, nonprofit and for-profit organizations, in how to use social media, including Facebook and other tools. And if you're interested in any of that, if you're interested in staying up to date, if you're interested in some training, DougPagittradio.com on Facebook would be glad to tell you how to get there. Socialphonics.com is where we do this training. And John Music is one of our assistants in the training of that work.
Yeah.
And John is a frequent Facebook status updater. In fact, just the other day, I put out a call for John versus another friend to see who has the funniest Facebook status updates. And I think is that going to start tomorrow? This big competition.
This
big throwdown, this cage match.
Look, I'm just going to do what
the Wimbledon of Facebook. Oh, you're not going to bring an extra level for this competition. You're just going to.
I'm at the top of my game anyway.
I see. You're going to play your game and let the competition come to you.
That's right.
I love it. Well, okay, so the way Facebook works, for those who don't know, is that one of the things you can do is you can update your status.
Sure.
And your status is, what are you up to? What are you thinking about? What would you like people to know? And they're these little short sentence or two. And John has developed a bit of a reputation for having some fun ones. So just like we have a natural health coach, and we have an advice guru, and we have a rabbi consultant, we also have, as a regular bit, a Facebook status updates from our friend John, and he has his own theme music that goes with it. So hit it, Will. John Music's 2012 status updates.
You can tell a lot about a person by how quickly they grab their phone back to make sure you don't scroll through their photos in their iPhone.
Like when someone lends you their phone,
yes,
and they get all panicky. Yeah, cute.
If you put your ear up close to a butterfly tattoo, you can hear the daddy issues.
All right. What else you got on that status update of yours over there at Facebook?
According to my neighbor's journal, I have boundary issues. Turns out no matter how many Pringles you can shove into your mouth at one time, this doesn't need to come up at a job interview. There have been entire relationships in which I didn't try as hard as I just did to get more toothpaste out of that tube.
All right, now, John, tell us how you go about putting a status update together. Some of us think to ourselves, what am I doing right now in my life? Like, what's happening? Whose birthday am I celebrating?
Yeah.
Whose wishes am I granting? But you have a different approach to your status updates. Talk us through what you do when you do your status.
Yeah, well, for some people, their status updates are a very literal representation of what's happening in their life right then and there. Okay, and sometimes I do that, but I tend to see absurd things in life, and when I see them, I make a note of them, I say them into my phone, or I write them down, and then depending upon my mood, I'll look through those and I'll go, well, I'm kind of feeling like that one right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing that surprised me this morning.
Yeah.
When we were getting ready for the show, and you pulled out a whole document with these one-line status updates, and that's when it dawned on me that you have been like you keep a list of them, and then when it's time for one, you select it off the list and make the status update.
Yeah, because sometimes I'll get 2 or 3 at one time, and I just don't want to unleash them all, so I'll just write them down and kind of save them for later to fit my mood or the mood of the web at the time.
Yeah, and so different people who would say to themselves, like, I don't do interesting things. There's nothing that I have to put up there. You're suggesting, no, you could prepare that ahead of time.
Yeah, and so I kind of have like this filter set up in my mind.
Oh, you do?
Well, it has very big pores. And and so when I see something bizarre or whatever, or sometimes I'll hear other people's statuses and I'll repost those or whatever. But yeah.
And what comes from this for people who would say to themselves, because I'm sure there's listeners who are saying to themselves, this is what I don't get about Facebook.
Yeah.
Who cares about your funny little quippy statements? Who cares about your run around the lake?
Sure.
Why are you telling people about that?
I think everyone is putting out there a bit of their personality on Facebook, whether they're complaining about their kids or telling about the real things that are happening in their lives. I'm kind of an absurd person. I generally am self-deprecating in real life, So if I have a status that's revealing and absurd, that's a part of my personality that I'm just putting out there.
Well, and what's awesome about this little segment we're doing right now is that this is the music that I always hear in the back of my brain when I'm talking to you anyway. So now the two have just sort of come together. All right.
I hear this music too, but another context.
All right. So back to John Music status updates from the little website called Facebook.
I love her, period. Missing comma, game changer. Just because you have a girlfriend doesn't make you better than me. It just means that you're better at flirting and communicating and are not an arsonist.
All right. So you do a number of these status updates that have to do with the situation of your life.
Yeah.
45-year-old single male.
Right. So, like, for instance, my friend told me that I'm single because I'm too sarcastic. I told her that telling me reasons why I'm single is my favorite thing about her. Here's another one. I refuse to have sex again until I'm in a committed, loving relationship, or until a really cute girl tells me I'm funny.
Oh, boy.
Having friends is overrated, probably.
Now you kind of run this as a bit of a little one-line stand-up routine.
Yeah.
Like this is sort of your stage, your platform,
sure.
your Stephen Wright moment.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, after seeing news reports on people being hurt when their Crocs were sucked into escalators, all I can think is natural selection.
And some of these crack you up too, don't they?
Oh yeah, I'm hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm super lazy today.
You are a lot of things.
Which is like normal lazy, but I'm also wearing a cape because I'm super lazy.
Oh, you're super lazy.
Yeah,
because some of these are sort of visual, aren't they? Like
right.
You would see super as in superhero or
exactly
supernatural. Mm-hmm.
My phone's lock screen should be a breathalyzer. Women are not complicated. They just want love and chocolate and some other stuff that I'll never understand.
All right, now, John, give a little advice to people who are saying to themselves, I would like to be funnier. I would like to be more lighthearted when it comes to my status updates, because my personality, I'm a fun person, but I can't seem to translate that over to this burgeoning new communications system that exists in our world. Like there's a lot of pressure, right? Because just this morning I was watching a debate of the 6. Can you believe there's still 6 Republican presidential candidates?
Yeah.
That at least, I mean, there's probably more than 6, but the 6 that were invited there, and it was on NBC, co-hosted by Facebook.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, the Facebook Republican candidate debate. So it's not as if Facebook is just a little toy thing.
No.
It's a big part of our new cultural situation. And for people who've said to themselves, I'd like to be a little bit more into that. What kind of status updating advice can they get from someone with a skill set that is as refined as yours?
Well, I think it really begins with emptying yourself of any self-esteem that you have.
Yeah.
And once you get there, once that's dry and dusty, that's where you got to begin. But no, I think like for some people, Facebook is like passing letters back and forth. I mean, there's people who are really strict on punctuation and spelling, and I'm sure everyone's faced those. For others, Facebook is just like a conversation between a large group of friends, and that's the way that I view it.
I see.
And so, when I'm thinking of things, I'm thinking of like, okay, what is really absurd to me? And then I also think about, well, how would this be absurd to others? And then sometimes that will expand the joke quite a bit.
And what do you hope happens? Because I know in your personality, you're someone who likes to add a little levity to life. You like to add a little fun. You like to bring a little party along with you so that, well, probably so you're not dealing with your own deep-seated issues, but even
very deep.
But even more so that you could add a little flavor for some other people.
Yeah.
Do you do that with Facebook as well? Like, do you say to yourself, I know a lot of people just are pretty serious about their lives and are kind of intense, and they don't find a lot of fun and humor. So you want to be that person in the Facebook community?
Well, my relationship with Facebook is a lot like my relationship with this radio show. Is that when I'm doing it, I really don't think about there being thousands upon thousands of listeners, okay, or hundreds upon hundreds of followers.
Yeah.
So when I put a status up, I put up what I think is funny.
I see.
And I don't think about, here, I'm going to make people laugh or something like that.
I see.
I know that it's funny and it's ridiculous, and that some people will find it funny. And the best I can hope for is just to get a little snort out of someone as they're rolling through their timeline.
And do you have one final status update?
One final, boy.
We have maybe time for two.
Okay. Here's one. You don't have to break my heart to make me cry. Just put me in a Joann fabric store and tell me to find glue sticks. Right? My daughter read my Facebook timeline and asked if we had a history of mental illness.
And finally, the 2012 John Music's Facebook status updates.
Little boys named Graham are inevitably eaten by bears.
Oh, my gosh. We apologize to all the Grahams out there. Hey, Doug Pagitt Radio, a religious radio that's not quite right. Sometimes you can see why. We're going to be back with the Cripes. Come on, you got to be kidding me here after the break on AM 950 and DougPagittRadio.com.